Welcome to another Fast Tips video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I am your instructor, Richard Rost. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use the sleep function to make your database wait in Microsoft Access. The sleep function is very versatile. I use it all the time. It basically lets you have your VBA code execution pause and wait a certain number of milliseconds, or full seconds if you want, until something else happens. Now, why would you want to do this? Isn't the whole point of faster computers so things process faster? You don't want to put pauses in. Well, there are some reasons why. Usually they're user interface related. For example, if you want to have multiple beeps in a row, you can't just issue 5 beep commands because they'll all go real fast and you won't hear them all. So you could put a slight pause between them. I'll show you how in just a few minutes. You could do the same thing with flashing colors. I've got another whole video where I show you how to have different text boxes, for example, flash, yellow and black or whatever, okay? I'll put a link to that video down below. You can click on it. You could give the user a countdown. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to give them like a 5-second countdown before shutting the database down, for example. Are you sure? And it'll count down. 5, 4, okay. We'll do that in a few minutes. Sending emails, for example. Give them a 30-second countdown after they hit send. Are you sure you want to, give them a chance to abort that, right? Or you might want it to slow down processes. I used to have a printer years ago that if I sent too many jobs to the printer at once, it would lock up. It would cause errors. So I used the sleep function so it would pause. I had like 15 reports that I had to print in a row. And so after each report, it would wait like 30 seconds. And okay, then send the next one. Same thing with email. All right, if you're sending emails out, you might want to slow down email delivery. For example, I use Gmail, and Gmail limits you to like, I think it's like 300 or 400 emails per day. So if I want to send out a whole bunch of emails, I slow it down so that it only sends one email maybe every 20 seconds. So I don't run into problems with Gmail, right? There's lots of reasons why you might want to slow down your code. But sleep is a very versatile function. It's almost as good as the time that Picard told Data to issue the sleep command to the Borg. Remember that?
Sleep, Data.
He's exhausted.
Yes, Doctor.
I mean, seriously, if it works on the Borg, it's going to work for your database, right? All right, before we get started with the sleep stuff, you got to know a little bit of VBA. So if you haven't done any VBA programming, go watch this video. It'll teach you everything you need to know about VBA in about 20 minutes. It's not scary, folks. It's not scary. Just follow along with me step by step. You'll be just fine. All right, you learn a little tiny bit of VBA, you can make your databases a whole lot more powerful. Okay, now there's a function that we need for sleep that's actually not part of Access. It's something called a Windows API. It's an application programming interface that lets you talk to Windows directly through this thing called kernel 32. Do you have to worry about that or wonder what it... No, don't worry about it. It's cool. We're just going to copy and paste some code. All right, I'm going to let you into the code vault. Now, normally the code vault is reserved for my gold members. All right, but I'm making sleep available for everyone. Give you a little taste of what's in the code vault. There's a whole ton of cool stuff in there. All right, but see that the URL right there? I'll put it down below in the description below the video. You can click on it too. Go to the code vault, grab this code right here. You can copy and paste it. Or if you feel like typing it in off the screen, I don't care. If you like to torture yourself, go ahead and type it in. I don't care. All right, that link's going to take you here in the code vault, right? What you want is this code right here. Everything from this public declare down to there. You're going to copy that to your clipboard, Control-C, okay? One little note, though, if you're still running any versions of 32-bit Office, you have to replace this line here with this stuff down here, okay? Because that is for 32-bit Office. That is for 64-bit Office, okay? But since most people now are on 64-bit, I don't bother putting it up top here. This is all you need if you got the latest version of Office. If you're running, Microsoft 365 or whatever, which you should be by now, okay? All right, so that's what you need right there. Copy it to your clipboard. Let's go over to Access. Okay, here I am in the Tech Help free template. This is a free database. You can grab a copy of this off my website if you want to. You'll find links down below. Do it. All right, so we've got that code copied in our clipboard. We need to put it in a public global module. All right, so we're going to go here, go to Create. Come over here, click on Module, not Class Module, Module, that guy. That'll bring up our little friendly VBA window, right? Now, we're going to paste that code in. Boom, there you go. That's what it should look like, exactly like that. Don't worry, I'm going to explain it all in just a minute. Let's save this first. Control S, save that. I'm going to save this as my global module, global mod, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Usually this global module will collect all the little bits and pieces of code that I need that aren't like all, one big module, for example. Okay, anyways, what does this mean? Well, since sleep isn't part of access, we have to go out to Windows. And there's a kernel 32 file. You don't got to worry about what the name is called, kernel 32. It's a library file. Okay? And what this is saying is we're going to declare a sub in our database. We're going to name that sub sleep. And we're going to get it from kernel 32. That's basically what that means. Okay? It's more advanced than that, but you get the gist. You don't have to know everything about this to use it. It's kind of like a car. You don't have to know how everything works under the hood to drive it. Okay? Now, it takes one parameter. That parameter is a number of milliseconds. So for 1 second, that would be 1,000 milliseconds. Okay? Okay. We'll get to sleepsec in just a minute. First, let me show you what happens if we don't use sleep to play multiple beeps. Okay, watch this. Come over here, design view. We're going to use my little hello world button here. We're going to rename this guy to do some beeps. Okay? Do some beeps. We'll make this bigger. If you don't know how this status box thing works, go watch my contact history database or contact history video. I'll put a link to that down below as well. I explain how I built the status box function. All right, so go to build event here. This is my hello world. Just status hello world just puts hello world in that box. That's all it is. Here it is right here, right? Status box equals whatever's in there plus what I send to it. Okay? Now, if I want to do some beeps, let's say instead of a status, I'm going to say beep. Okay? What does beep do? Well, it just plays the PC speaker and makes you beep. Well, it used to be the PC speaker back. I'm dating myself now. There used to be an actual physical little speaker inside the PC case that was called the PC speaker. And then if you wanted multimedia sound, you had to buy like a sound card and plug extra speakers into that. So beep would just beep that little speaker. Okay? Now, if you want to do multiple beeps in a row, watch what happens. If I come in here and go beep, beep, beep. Let's say I want to give 3 beeps. All right, save it. Come back out here and go. See? It still sounds like one beep. Because they all kind of run into each other. So what you want to do is put a pause between them. That's what sleep is for. So the user will actually hear 3 beeps. So you do beep, then you go sleep. Now, how long do you want to sleep in milliseconds? A whole second might be too long. Let's go 500 milliseconds. That's basically half a second, right? Sleep, 500. You can vary that. You can change it, 200, 800, make them different. Wow, whatever. Right? It's your database. You put the Legos together however you want. Save it. Come back out here, and now, hear that? Did you see? You heard 3 distinct beeps. Okay? All right, along the same lines, let's say you want to give the user a 5-second warning to shut down the database. So you click shut down the database, and it counts down 5 seconds. Okay? And then after 5, and it gives them that chance to hit abort. Okay? And if they don't, it shuts the database down. So, how do we do that? Well, let's go here. Close database, right? Right click, build event. Now in here, what we're going to do is we're going to say status, right? Closing database. And then we'll go beep, right? And then we'll go status 5, beep, status 4, right? And then the same thing. Let me copy and paste. That is beep, copy. Do another beep. 3, 2, 1. And then right here, it'll exit the database, which you could just put quit to close the database. But I'm not going to actually do that for class. So I'll leave that remmed out there. You can see that's where we actually would do the quit. Or whatever you want to fire off. Anything you want to do, right? Then we'll change this to 3, 2, 1. Right? And then status. Bye-bye. Okay. Now again, if you have it like this, save it, back out here, do it, click, it just goes by real fast. So that's where our sleep comes into play. You give them 5 seconds. Now, I don't want to keep adding sleep, 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 sleep. This is getting long and it's very repetitive. we can use a for next loop for this, right? If you've never done a for next loop before, oh, you're in for a treat. I love for next loops. I use them all the time. I think I use while loops more, but for next loops are one of my top 2 favorite loops. So go watch this if you've never done a for next loop, but I'm going to show you how in just a second. All right, so we need a variable so we can do some counting, right? Dim x as along. Okay, and right here, I'm going to say for x equals 1, 2. For x equals 1, 2, 5. Okay, and then we're going to say, I want to beep, and then status, but instead of statusing a number, I'm going to status x, and then that stuff, right? And I can get rid of all this extra copied gook, right? And then next right here. And now in this loop is where I can put the sleep, okay? And then maybe we'll go a full second. Okay? And then when that loop is all done, bye-bye. All right, ready? Here we go. Save it. Come back out, meow, and hit the button. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And then bye-bye, it exits. Okay? Now, we got to give them a way in here to quit, right? If they don't want to. All right, design view. Come in here, and then down here on the bottom. I did this in the last video, too. So we'll do it again. We'll grab a little checkbox. Where is it? Right there. Never find the checkbox. I'm used to looking for that old icon still. Okay, down here we'll put abort like that. And in the video I just did, yesterday's video, yeah, the coin toss video. I show you how to hide this guy if you don't need it. We're not going to get into that much. If you want to see how to do that, watch the coin toss video. I'll put a link to that down below too. We'll call this guy abort. Okay. And then what I'll do is inside this loop, I'm going to say up here, before we start, we're going to say abort equals false. Okay. And then inside this loop, I'm going to say if abort, then exit 4. In other words, get out of Dodge. Okay. And then down here, we're going to say if abort, then we're going to status, shut down, self-destruct canceled. Else, bye-bye, right? And this is where you put your quit. So if we exit the loop, if the user clicks abort, we're going to exit the loop, right? And if we get down here and they've checked abort, we're going to cancel the self-destruct. Otherwise, we're going to exit the database. Okay, you ready? Save it. Close this. And now ready, here we go. Click. And I'm going to let it just go, so I'm not going to click abort. And there we go, bye-bye. Okay, let's do it again. Click, this time I'll click abort. Oh, wait, nothing's happening. Okay, there it goes. Takes a second. All right. Now, that's one of the reasons why I made the sleepsec function. Remember I said we'd get to that in a minute? Let's go back to the module here. All right. What sleepsec does is, if you want a longer pause than 1 second, okay, you send sleepsec a bigger number. Let's say you want a 30-second pause. Okay? If you're pausing that long, it'll look to the user like nothing is happening. If they click, it won't register. Why? Because the cycle is locked. Okay? Sleep will lock up the system. Watch. If I come in here, let me go back to the main menu real quick. And if I come in here and let's say there's a 5-second pause between each one of those. Okay, save it. Now if I click, see, it's much longer between those. Okay. And if I click now, I just clicked and nothing appears to happen for a good while until finally it registers that check, and then at the end of the next cycle, it aborts. So what sleepsec does is, no matter how many seconds you want to abort for, there's an internal loop inside of here that only pauses a second at a time. So you could say sleep 30 seconds, and it'll come in here and it'll loop 30 times, sleeping 1 second at a time. You can change this. You can make this 100 milliseconds and then multiply that by 10 if you want to. There's a whole lot of different things you can do. I think 1 second's enough for people to register, to wait for a click to register. All right, so if I come back here, if I still want that 5-second pause, Instead of saying sleep 5000, I'm going to say sleepsec 5. All right. Then there's the allow events. You can not allow events if you don't want the user to be able to abort it, but usually that's true, so I just leave that alone, the default event. All right. So now save it and then come back out here. Okay, ready? Same 5-second wait. Click. Then wait 5 seconds. All right, but you'll see if I click now, all right, that checkbox checked almost immediately. Okay? So at least it lets you see that something is happening every second. All right, even if you got a 2-minute pause in here. So sleep is a great way to have your execution pause. Like I said, you're sending multiple emails, you want to give someone a countdown or any kind of thing. I'll give you some links to some other videos. Here's one that shows you how to use the timer event to have some flashing text. Now, the timer event works similar to sleep, but it is built into Access, and it runs at the form level. So the whole form itself has a timer that runs. You can set what that is. In my Access Developer 18 class, I show you how to use the sleep timer to slow down a progress bar if you actually want it to slow down. There's a lot of reasons why. If you don't want something running too fast. You guys remember when, I'm old, so back in the 90s when games were written for like XT or PC, slower softwares, and then like the 386s and 486s came out, they actually had a turbo button you'd have to click on to slow the processor down. Otherwise, your games would run way too fast because they weren't based on a system clock. They were based on how fast the computer could process. Same thing here. You might want to slow down the progress of a particular event. Like I said before, sending emails or whatever. All right, Developer 18, I talk about that stuff. And yeah, that little notification just popped up. That's why I usually turn those things off when I'm recording classes. Stop notifying me of stuff. There's another video I did that's got a form timer event similar to sleep, but this one gives you a reminder pop-up. So if you got stuff that like, oh, there's new sales leads, it'll count down like 10 minutes, whatever, and then boom, check for stuff and then give you a pop-up message. All kinds of different things you can do with timer events in sleep. So there you go. That's how you use the sleep function. Slow down your stuff. Make people know that stuff's happening, right? Hope you learned something. Hope you had some fun. And we'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget.
I am Locutus of Borg.
If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free, and click on the bell icon to select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Make sure you click the Show More link down below the video to find additional resources and links. You'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted, so if you'd like to get an email every time I post a video, click on the link to join my mailing list. Even if you don't want to become a member, feel free to donate to my tip jar. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got puppies to feed. How do you become a member? Click on the Join button below the video. After you click the Join button, you'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks. Silver members and up will get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class each month, and more. Gold members get access to download all of the sample databases that I build in my Tech Help videos, plus my code vault, where I keep tons of different functions that I use. You'll also get a higher priority if you decide to submit any Tech Help questions to me, and you'll get one free expert class each month after you finish the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks, plus even higher priority for Tech Help questions, access to all of my full beginner courses for every subject, and one free developer class each month after you finish the expert classes. These are the full-length courses found on my website, not just for Access too. I also teach Word, Excel, Visual Basic, and lots more. You can now become a Diamond sponsor and have your name or company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown in each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. But don't worry, these free Tech Help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you have not yet tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access. It's over 4 hours long, and I just updated it for 2021. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll include a link below that you can click on. And also, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. Yep, that's all, $1, and it's free for all members of my YouTube channel at any level, even supporters. Want to have your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page on my website. You can send me your question there. While you're on my site, feel free to stop by the Access Forum. Lots of good conversations happening there. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Once again, my name is Richard Ross. Thank you for watching this tech help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something today. I'll see you again soon.